Does my microphone work?
But Chuck, you got,
I raised 3 boys and 1 daughter, I understand.
that's right.
We're going to call
The shield got that, so it's easy to shop.
the meeting to order for Ukiah Valley Basin Groundwater Sustainability Agency. This is Thursday, November 14th, 2019. Clerk, please conduct the roll call.
Director Crane,
Present.
Director Brown,
Here.
Director Robinson,
Present.
Director White,
Here.
Alternate Director Todd,
Here.
and Chair Brown.
I am here. Let's all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you so much. Now we are on item number 3. That's our consent items, and we do have approval of minutes from the October 15th, 2019 meeting. I went over them. I didn't see anything for correction or addition or amendment. Directors?
Move approval. Second.
So we have a motion and we have a second. Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Director Crane,
Present. You already knew that. Sorry. Yes.
Director Brown,
Abstain?
Director Robinson,
Aye.
Director White,
Yes.
Alternate Director Todd,
Aye.
and Chair Brown.
Yes. Okay, moving on to item number 4, we have staff updates. Ms. Duquette?
Just a quick update before we get into the agenda. As you know, we've kind of transitioned to a new team doing the meetings, and we've been sending out e-notifications, but we've also got some requests that you'd like to go back to direct emails, where we send you a link in a PDF packet. So I just want you to know for upcoming meetings, in addition to just getting the e-blast that we sent out to everyone, that it's been published, and of course us following up with you whether you're going to be attending or not, we'll be sending you an email with a PDF packet. So hopefully that will be convenient, and we'll continue to have them on hand if you need them here. So that's just a quick procedural update.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to item number 5, we have public comments on items not on the agenda. If anyone would like to speak, please come forward. Seeing no one come forward, we're on to the next item, and that's item number 6. These are action items. We have an update regarding Proposition 68 grant application for groundwater sustainability plan development and projects. Ms. Duquette?
Sarah Duquette, Mendocino County. I'm going to just give you a brief overview of the final components and budget and all that kind of stuff. But to start with that, the original due date was November 1st. As you guys are all aware, Northern California lost power for like 5 days. And part of that was Governor Newsom declaring an emergency because of all of the fires and the outages, which moved the submission date to November 15th at 1 p.m., which is tomorrow. So that was very beneficial since we had limited power all throughout Northern California. So we've been working at it. We submitted the application on Friday by 5 p.m. That gives DWR enough time to look through our application and then contact us if they have trouble opening it or they want some additional information. So I talked with DWR yesterday, and they asked for a couple more pieces of information for eligibility purposes and for disadvantaged communities. So we put together the additional documents that they wanted included in those items. And so we're going to have that uploaded today by 5, so then we should be good to go. Where we ended based on DWR's direction in webinars is we broke the application into multiple components. So should they only have enough funding to fund portions of it, that way we can identify what we absolutely need to complete it. So we ended up with our 4 components. One was just the strict grant administration, and that was $109,800. Then we went to the stakeholder outreach and engagement, where we highlighted all of the additional outreach for the tribes, the stakeholder groups, the rolling out the GSP in chapters, so we could have more robust comments from stakeholders and community groups as we go through the process rather than all at once. So that was included. So our final stakeholder outreach and engagement was $300,000. Then for the GSP development, we asked for an additional $400,000, and that's for the new model, the rollout of the GSP development, and also including an economic analysis and really making sure we have the funds to run all those various scenarios in terms of climate change or possibilities with the Potter Valley project and what it would be, what the consequences would be economically depending on the different scenarios. So we included that as well. And then for the monitoring and assessment was $424,000, and that was what we've already talked before about the monitoring wells, stream gauges, and instruments, but looking at the isotopic recharge study, a couple other studies, and then coordination on upgrading our CASGEM network to be our monitoring network moving forward. So all in all, it was $1,233,000, $1,233,800. And so we're pretty much just have to upload our few other documents for our request to get a waiver, a match waiver up today, and then we're good to go. And we found out some good news. Originally, they asked us all to break it up into components because they were concerned they were going to get a really large number of applications and they weren't going to be able to fund it all. We recently heard from DWR that they don't believe they're going to get as many applications as originally intended, so they said, ask for the full amount. So we pretty much did that. So we're hopeful that we're going to be able to get all the key pieces funded. We'll get that taken care of, and then we'll hear back March, April about awards. And that's where we are, so I can answer any grant questions.
Absolutely. Anyone with questions or some comments? My comment is I feel fortunate, once again, that we can get this grant application in and not have so much competition and hopefully get it fully funded. All righty. Seeing no questions, we're going to move on. This, sir. Yes.
Questions?
Yes.
Yeah. I wondered if there were any public questions.
Oh. This is why we have a vice chair. I almost moved on without public comment. Sorry.
Everybody needs a Robin.
Anyone that would like to comment on this agenda item, please come forward. Seeing no one come forward, we're going to move on to 6B, discussion and possible action, including adoption of the 2020 Board of Directors Master Meeting Calendar. I was pretty impressed with it. Ms. Duquette, do you want to discuss it, please?
So this is the main reason why we're here today, because this will be our last meeting of the calendar year. I was in discussion with Larry Walker and Associates, so you'll see a handout right before the calendar that talks about important dates. So we were really looking at what are the important dates coming up and how do we schedule those meetings. And looking at next year, we know that we're going to have quite a few dates in January, March, July, September, November are all going to be extremely important, and we're going to be rolling out significant portions of the GSP and what we're working on. And since that's really the main focus, we didn't really feel like it was necessary to do a calendar with 12. So what we just put before you today is a calendar with 6 meetings, and all of those meetings correspond with the important dates that we plan to roll out certain items for you. And then we also included, it's pretty much a meeting every other month, and there's some extra meetings in there in case our timing shifts or we have other items that come up. But they're really matched with the important deliverable dates of when you'll be hearing certain items.
Can you repeat which are the most important meetings?
Yes, January 9th, 2020, March 12th, July 9th,
Oh,
September 10th,
okay, so they're all important listed.
yeah,
in
and
that.
November 12th. We're trying to make sure that our calendar is aligned with all of our deliverables that we plan to roll out.
Okay.
January 9th or January 14th? Oh, I see.
January 9th.
We're jumped here. I'm sorry.
Okay. I just thought it was really great to have this and know exactly what's going to be on our agenda. Gives us a good heads up.
And so this allows us to move to an every other month schedule?
Yep. And then you can put these dates on your calendar and know that these are like the dates you need to be here for. And if you look at the other one, you'll kind of get an idea of the type of items we'll be talking about on those, on the other attachments. So you'll kind of know, so in January, we'll be talking about the integrated hydrological model.
Further
It
comment?
also means we'll probably be, we probably will move up the budget discussions a little bit earlier in the year, just to accommodate the schedule, since we won't be having a June meeting. So that will probably be coming in March or May for next calendar year, or probably at least an item to talk about it in March and take action in May.
And we can still call special meetings if needed.
Yes.
Any further comment? Questions? Public comment? Anyone that would like to address the master calendar for the coming year, please come forward. Seeing no one come forward, we are going to move on further on our agenda. We're now on item number 7. Oh, should we take action?
Yes, we need to formally adopt the calendar.
Okay, we have a motion by Vice Chair Crane. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Secretary Brown. Can we conduct a roll call vote, please?
Director Crane,
Aye.
Director Brown,
Aye.
Director Robinson,
Aye.
Director White,
Aye.
Alternate Director Todd,
Aye.
and Chair Brown.
Yes. Okay, moving on to directors' reports. Anyone have a report on water? My only report is I was looking forward to some rain this week that passed us by. It was like, okay. I wish we had some coming.
Turn your home irrigation back on.
They're making
Well,
it.
We,
True, true.
I just wanted to remind you guys that we did have one item of correspondence that we attached, and you might want to speak to it, Chair Brown. It's the notice from FERC. As correspondence, we attached to the agenda. It's the last page.
Okay,
Many of you might have already seen it.
yeah. And that is a very important one.
Yeah, could you clarify what this all means?
Well,
Does it mean PG&E is going to actually do something? I thought they walked away from that.
well, they did, but they still have to uphold the obligations of the license that they currently have. And what occurred was PG&E would not allow for sampling to be done. The sediments behind Scott Dam, and was resisting. And the Coastal Conservancy had granted funds so that could occur. And so we had to go to FERC to get a demand, however you want to put it, that PG&E allow those samplings to be taken. And it's a very key time right now, because if you get hard rains, they can't go in and get these samplings. So anyway, this is a directive to PG&E to allow this to happen. There was an earlier one that FERC also did, and that was for information on the safety of Cape Horn Dam. And that also has come through a letter from FERC telling PG&E that that information needs to come forward.
Sounds good.
Yes.
I did have a question about the PG&E project. What is the status of that as it relates to Ukiah, if you're allowed to talk about that?
How it relates to all of the,
Well, I don't, you hear rumors about things, and I heard at one point Ukiah was looking at trying to partner up and purchase the PG&E dam site project, and I was just kind of curious as to if that's true and what the status of it was.
Well, as an update, Mendocino County Inland Water and Power Commission, they have become a partner, what we call planning agreement partner, and with other organizations, including Caltrout, Sonoma County, Water, Humboldt County, and I'm trying to think, and the Round Valley Tribe. So they're all partners, and the notice of intent was turned in by the filing deadline. FERC has accepted it, and now the process is taking place where so many studies have to be done.
Right.
Excuse me. And everything has to be completed by April 2020.
Okay.
And then they extended a little bit more time to go into the actual pre-application process. So all these deadlines are looming. And there were 3 consultants that were interviewed by all the parties to the planning agreement to conduct these studies. And I believe, I think I'm going to get this right, it was Stillwater Consulting Firm was selected. Excuse me. So they are going forward. And it's just a big crunch to get it all done.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. None of this.
Who are all the members of the IWPC?
Pardon?
Who are all the members of the IWPC?
Excuse me, I don't know why I just all of a sudden went into this. It would be Potter Valley Irrigation District, City of Ukiah, Mendocino County Water Agency, Redwood Valley County Water District, and Russian River Flood Control.
So, to Brandy's question, the participation of Ukiah is within this IWPC, which is part of this group which
Correct.
is doing this. So it isn't a matter of City of Ukiah going off and doing it.
No, I understand that. I was just curious what the
wasn't
status
real
of.
clear on
Yeah,
And
who was
then-
the partners? I knew there were other partners, though, and I was just kind of curious about that, too.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
And then Janet Pauley and myself are the ad hoc from IWPC that sits with the other parties to the planning agreement, the steering committee. She is the representative. I am her alternate. And we continue, IWPC, all the member agencies put money forward in order to have consultants. And we still have those consultants on board to help us along the way through this entire process.
Another question, it might be premature, but after the project is secured, what is the intention as far as leaving the dam intact is concerned? I know that-
Everything is on the table. As far as the entities moving forward, and that was part of the agreement. They're also accepting other entities, agencies that can become not parties to the actual process, but be more like a consulting basis and updated as we go through this process. And they have to sign a common interest statement, but everything is on the table.
So it hasn't, there's no direction clear at this point.
No, and it's all these studies and looking at impacts, et cetera, to find a 2-basin solution, which goes along with U.S. Representative Huffman's desire. But to go forward with the relicensing, we're probably going to have to consider, not have to, we do have to consider forming a public authority for this project. in order to successfully be able to run it. So that's basically where we are.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Looks like we've done all our business. So is there anything else, staff, that we should cover before adjournment?
I don't think so. I hope everyone has a great December. The Technical Advisory Committee will also be meeting in January, and I think you guys are included on those notices. And we'll try to get the information as far out to you guys in advance as possible, since it typically is quite a bit.
So that January meeting is the 9th?
January meeting is the 9th, and the TAC will be meeting in the morning that day as well,
Okay.
at 9:30.
All righty. Now, is it publicly noticed?
The TAC?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Okay. So even if you had a majority of our board sitting there listening, since it's publicly noticed, it's all legal
Yes.
under Brown Act?
Yep, Brown Act meeting, except you get to be members of the public.
Okay. All righty. It appears there's no other business, so we're adjourning the meeting at 1:50? 1:49, right?
153.
45, 40, oh,
1:53 and 45 seconds.
oh, you've got your phones. Well, I'm sure that's right. This probably isn't. All righty, we're adjourned, and thank you, everyone.